Jai Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Maharaj Ki Jai.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivashikam Vitam Scha Om Jnana Timarandasya Gyanajana Shilakya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govindam Vidam Ujwalam Bharatanam Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavad Premna Vibija Pradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandamananam Balarka Chelan Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Baranam Vairagya Vidyambunim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Sarasvatanam Baram Bandetam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shridharam Vanchakopatarubhyascha Kripasindu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pranayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami with translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is Madhya-lila, chapter 9. Lord Chaitanya travels to the holy places. Verse number 323. Tirtha Jatra Kata Prabhu Sakala Kohila Karnamrita Brahma Samhita Dui Puntidila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Ramananda Roy a vivid description of his travels to the holy places and told him how he had acquired the two books named Krishna Karnamrita and Brahma Samhita. The Lord delivered the books to Ramananda Roy. Prabhu kohe tumije siddhanta kohile edui puti se saba sakidile. The Lord said, "Whatever you have told me about devotional service is all supported by these two books. Rayara Nanda Hoila Pustaka Paya Prabhusaha Shwadila Rakila Likia." Ramananda Roy was very happy to receive these books. He tasted their contents along with the Lord and made a copy of each. Gosai Aila Grame Hoila Kolaha Prabhu ke dekite lok aila sakal. News spread in the village of Vidyanagar about the arrival of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and everyone came to see him once again. Lokadeki Ramananda Gela Nijagare Madhyane Utila Prabhu Bhikka Korivare. After seeing the people who gathered there, Sri Ramananda Roy returned to his own home. At noon, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up to take his lunch. Ratri Kale Rai Puna Koila Agaman Duwijane Krishna Katai Koila Jagaran. Sri Ramananda Roy returned at night, and he and the Lord discussed topics concerning Krishna. Thus they passed the night. Duwijane Krishna Kata Kohe Ratri Dine Paramananda Nande Gela Pancha Shatadine. Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed Krishna day and night, and thus they passed from 5 to 7 days in great happiness. Nityananda Kohe Prabhu Tomara Agyapaya Rajake Likilunami Vinoi Korea. Ramananda Roy said, "My dear Lord, with your permission, I have already written a letter to the king with great humility." Raja Moriagya Dila Nilachali Jaite Chalibara Udyoga Ame Lagi Jache Korite. The king has already given me an order to return to Jagannath Puri, and I am making arrangements to do this. Prabhu kohe etamora enimite agaman Toma loya nilachale koriva gaman. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "It is for this purpose alone that I have returned. I want to take you with me to Jagannath Puri. Rai kohe Prabhu age, chala nilachale, morasange, hati gora, shainya kulahale." Ramananda Roy said, "My dear Lord, it is better that you proceed to Jagannath Puri alone, because with me there will be many horses, elephants, and soldiers, all roaring tumultuously. So there'll be so much disturbance if I go with you. I just have to." Ramananda Roy just asking that he has to finish all his service and get everything arranged, then he will go. Dinadashe iha sabar kori samadan tomara pache pachiami koriba prayan. I shall make arrangements within 10 days. Following you, I shall go to Nilachala without delay. Tabi Mahaprabhu tari asite agyadiya Nilachale chalila Prabhu anan ditahaya. Giving orders to Ramananda Roy to come to Nilachala, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departed for Jagannath Puri with great pleasure. Jaypate Purbe Prabhu Koila Agaman, Sepate Chalila Deki Sarva Vaishnavagan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned by the same road he had formerly taken to Vidyanagar, and all the Vaishnavas along the way saw him again. Jahan Jai Loka Ute Haridwani Kori Dekyanandita Man Hoila Gora Hari. Wherever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, the holy name of Sri Hari was vibrated. Seeing this, the Lord became very happy. So all the people, wherever he went, they had seen him formerly, and now they're all chanting the Krishna Nam. They're all chanting the Lord's holy name. Allalanate Ashi Krishna Dase Pataila Nityananda Adinija Gane Bolaila. When the Lord reached Allalanath, he sent his assistant Krishna Das ahead to call for Nityananda Prabhu and other personal associates. Prabhu Ragaman Shuni Nityananda Rai Udya Chalila Preme Teke Nahibai. As soon as Nityananda Prabhu received news of the arrival of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he immediately got up and started out to see him. Indeed, he was very impatient in his great ecstasy. Jagannananda Damodar Pandit Mukunda Nachiya Jalila Dehe Nadare Ananda. Sri Nityananda Rai, Jagannananda, Damodar Pandit, and Mukunda all became ecstatic in their happiness. And dancing along the way, they went to meet the Lord. Gopinathacharya Chalila Anandita Haya Prabhure Milila Sabe Pate Lagpaya. Gopinathacharya also went in a very happy mood. They all went to meet the Lord, and they finally contracted him on the way. Gopinathacharya also went in a very happy mood. They all went to meet the Lord, and they finally contacted him on the way. Prabhu Premaveshe Sabai Koila Alingan Premaveshe Sabe Gori Ananda Krandan. The Lord was also filled with ecstatic love, and he embraced them all. Out of their love, they began to cry with pleasure. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya Anande Chalila Samudrara Tireyashi Prabhure Milila. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya also went to see the Lord with great pleasure, and he met him on the beach by the sea. Sarvabhauma Mahaprabhu Padila Charane Prabhutare Utaya Koila Alingane. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord pulled him up and embraced him. Premaveshe Sarvabhauma Korila Radhane. Premaveshe Sarvabhauma Korila Rodhane. Sabsange Aila Prabhu Ishwara Darshane. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya cried in great ecstatic love. Then the Lord, accompanied by them all, went to the temple of Jagannath. Pardon me. Premaveshe Sarvabhauma Korila Rodhane. Sabha Sange Aila Prabhu Ishwara Darshane. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya cried in great ecstatic love. Then the Lord, accompanied by them all, went to the temple of Jagannath. Jagannath Darshana Premaveshe Koila Kampa Sveda Pulaka Shrute Sharira Bashila. Due to ecstatic love experienced upon visiting Lord Jagannath, inundations of trembling, perspiration, tears, and jubilation swept the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bahunitya Gita Koila Premavishta Hoya Panda Pala Ailas Sabe Mala Prashadalaya. In ecstatic love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced and chanted. At that time, all the attendants and priests came to offer him a garland and the remnants of Lord Jagannath's food. Mala Prashad Paya Prabhu Shushtira Hoila Jagannathera Sevak Sab Anande Milila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became patient after receiving the garland and prasadam of Lord Jagannath. All the servants of Jagannath met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with great pleasure. So due to ecstatic love, Jagannath Darshana Premaveshe Koila Kampa Shveta Pulaka Shrute Sharira Bashila. Due to ecstatic love experienced upon visiting Lord Jagannath, inundations of trembling, perspiration, tears, and jubilation swept the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In ecstatic love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced and chanted. At that time, all the attendants and priests came to offer him a garland and the remnants of Lord Jagannath's food. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became patient after receiving the garland and prasadam of Lord Jagannath. All the servants of Lord Jagannath and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the servants of Lord Jagannath met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with great pleasure. So the Lord, when he came back, he was overwhelmed with ecstasy. But then when he received the prasadam of Lord Jagannath, then he became described patient, and he became calm. Kashi Mishra se Prabhu Padila Charane Manya Kori Prabhu Tari Koila Lingane. Afterward, Kashi Mishra came and fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord respectfully embraced him. Prabhu Loya Sarvabhauma Nijagarigela Moragare Bhikkaboli Nimantrana Koila. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then took the Lord with him to his home, saying, "Today lunch will be at my home." In this way he invited the Lord. Divya Mahaprasad Aneka Anaila Pita Paya Adi Jagannatha Jai Kaila. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya brought various types of food remnants that had been left by Lord Jagannath. He brought all kinds of pita pana is a drink with some cake, like served in Orissa, typical of Orissa. Brought all kinds of cakes and condensed milk preparations. Madhyana Korila Prabhu Nijagan Laya Sarvabhauma Gare Bhikka Korila Asya. Accompanied by his associates, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house and took his noon lunch there. Bhikka karanyatare koraila shayan apane sarvabhauma kore parasambhahan. After offering food to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya made him lie down to rest, and he personally began to massage the legs of the Lord. Prabhutare Bataila Bhojana Korite Se Ratri Taragare Rohila Tara Prite. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then sent Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to take his lunch, and the Lord remained that night in his home just to please him. Sarvabhauma Sangyara Loya Nijagan Tirtha Jatra Katako He Koila Jagaran. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his personal associates remained with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. They all stayed awake the entire night, and the Lord spoke of his pilgrimage. Prabhu Kohe Eta Tirtha Koilun Paryatan Tomasama Vaishnavana Dekilun Ekjan. The Lord told Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I have traveled to many holy places, but I could not find a Vaishnava as good as you anywhere. So, Srila Sridhar Maharaj comments that this way Mahaprabhu was glorifying or praising his own creation. Before Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was an impersonalist. But after Mahaprabhu discussed with him for many days, 8 days, then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became converted, and from that time on, he knew nothing except chanting the holy name and service to the Lord. He became a full Gaudiya Vaishnava. And then, so Mahaprabhu had converted Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and then Mahaprabhu told Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I just went to South India, the place of many acharyas and many of the teachers. All the acharyas came from South India. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, and Nimbarkacharya. And Shankaracharya. They all came from South India. So Mahaprabhu had said, I have been to the place of South India, the place known for many scholars, and the acharyas have all come from there. And it's a place known of great intellectual, persons with great intellectual ability. But Mahaprabhu says, I have gone to that place, South India, but I didn't meet any Vaishnava like you. Nobody as advanced as you. And therefore, Srila Sridhar Maharaj said that Mahaprabhu was glorifying his own creation. Ek Ramananda Rai Bahusukha Dila Bhatako He Lage Milite Kohila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, I received much pleasure from the talks of Ramananda Roy. The Bhattacharya replied, for this reason I requested that you meet him. In the Sri Chandradoya beginning of the 8th act, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Sarvabhauma, I have traveled to many holy places, but I cannot find a Vaishnava as good as you anywhere. However, I must admit that Ramananda Roy is wonderful. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replies, therefore, my Lord, I requested that you see him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then says, there are, of course, many Vaishnavas in these holy places, and most of them worship Lord Narayan. Others, who are called Tattvavadis, are also Lakshmi Narayan worshippers, but they do not belong to the pure Vaishnava cult. There are many worshippers of Lord Shiva, and there are also many atheists. Regardless, my dear Bhattacharya. I very much like Ramananda Roy and his opinions. Tirtha Jatra Kata E Kohilun Samapan Sanke Tirtha Jatra Kata E Kohilun Samapan Sankepe Kohilun Bistar Na Jai Varnan. Thus I have ended my narration about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pilgrimage, describing it in brief. It cannot be described very broadly. Ananta Chaitanya Lila Kohitena Jani Lobela Jakana Tara Kori Tanatani. The pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are unlimited. No one can properly describe his activities. Yet I make the attempt out of greed. This but reveals my shamelessness. Prabhupada Tirtha Jatra Kata Shuni Jejan Chaitanya Charitamrita Gara Premadan. Whoever hears Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pilgrimage to various holy places attains the riches of very deep ecstatic love. Chaitanya Charita Shuna Shraddha Bhakti Kori Matsarya Chadiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari. Please hear the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with faith and devotion. Giving up envy of the Lord, everyone chant the Lord's holy name. Hari. E Kali Kali Ara Nahi Kon Dharma Vaishnava Shastra Eko He Marma. In this age of Kali, there are no genuine religious principles other than those established by Vaishnava devotees and the Vaishnava scriptures. This is the sum and substance of everything. Chaitanya Chandra Lila Agara Gambir Praveshe Korite Nari Sparsha Rahi Atira. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are just like an unfathomable ocean. It is not possible for me to enter into it. Simply standing on the shore, I am but touching the water. In this age of Kali, there are no genuine religious principles other than those established by Vaishnava devotees and the Vaishnava scriptures. This is the sum and substance of everything. Vaishnava and Vaishnava Shastra. The pastimes of Mahaprabhu are just like an unfathomable ocean. It is not possible for me to enter into it. Simply standing on the shore, I am but touching the water. Chaitanya Charita Shraddhaya Shunijejan Jatika Bichare Tata Pai Premadam. Chaitanya Charita Shraddhaya Shunijejan Jatika Vichare Tata Pai Premadan. The more one hears the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with faith, analytically studying them, the more one attains ecstatic riches of love of Godhead. Shri Rupa Raghunath Parijara As Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishna Das. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila, 9th chapter, describing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's travels to many holy places in South India. So it's still a little early. I'm going to continue with the next chapter. The Lord's, chapter 10, the Lord's return to Jagannath Puri. Tambande Gora Jaladam Svasya yo darshanamritai vicheda vagraha mlana bhakta shastyani ajivayat. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is compared to a cloud that pours water on fields of grain, which are like devotees suffering due to a shortage of rain. Separation from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like a drought, but when the Lord returns, his presence is like a nectarian rain that falls on all the grains and saves him from perishing. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaurabhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Purbe Jabe Mahaprabhu Chalila Dakine Prataparudhra Rajatabe Bolaila Sarvabhauma. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departed for South India, King Prataparudhra called Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to his palace. Basite asana dila kore namaskare Mahaprabhu Bhartatabe Puchila Tahare. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya met with the king offered him a seat with all respects and inquired about news of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shunilana Tomargare Ek Mahashai Goda Hoite Aila Teho Mahakripa Moy. The king said to the Bhattacharya, I have heard that a great personality has come from Bengal and is staying at your home. I have also heard that he is very, very merciful. Tomare Bahu Kripa Koila Kohe Sarvajan Kripa Kore Korahamore Tahara Darshan. I've also heard that this great personality has shown you great favor. At any rate, this is what I hear from many different people. Now, being merciful upon me, you should do me the favor of arranging an interview. Batakohe Jai Shunila Sabsatya Hoy Taradarshana Tomar Gatananahoy. The Bhattacharya replied, all that you have heard is true, but as far as an interview is concerned, it is very difficult to arrange. Virakta Sanyasi Teho Rahana Nirjane Swapnehana Koren Teho Rajadarshane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the renounced order and is very much detached from worldly affairs. He stays in solitary places, and even in dreams he does not grant interviews to a king. Swapna na koren teho raja darshane. Even in dreams he doesn't give darshan to kings. Tatapi prakaritoma koraitama darshan samprati korilateho dakina gaman. Still, I would have tried to arrange your interview, but he has recently left to tour South India. Rajakohe Jagannath Charitamrita Bhattakohe Mahantera ek Lila. The king asked, why has he left Jagannath Puri? The Bhattacharya replied, such are the pastimes of a great personality. Tirtha pavitra korite kore tirtha brahman se chale nishtaraye sam sarikajan. Great saints go to the holy places of pilgrimage in order to purify them. For that reason, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is visiting many tirthas and delivering many, many conditioned souls. Bhavad Vida Bhagavatas Tirti Bhuta Swayam Vibho Tirti Kurvandi Tirtani Swantastena Gadabrita. Saints of your caliber are themselves places of pilgrimage. Because of their purity, they are constant companions of the Lord, and therefore they can purify even the places of pilgrimage. Vaishnavere hoy ek swabhava nischa teho jiva nahin hoya swatandra ishwar. So this confirmation of Sarvabhauma saying, great saints go to the holy places of pilgrimage in order to purify them. So this Mahaprabhu actually went to South India on the plea of visiting holy places, on the plea of looking for his elder brother Vishwarup, news of him. But actually, the holy places are purified by the presence of the Vaishnavas. The holy places are in particular purified when Mahaprabhu visits them. And in so doing, he will convert everyone he meets into becoming a Vaishnava, a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Bhavad vida bhagavata stirti bhuta swayam vibo tirti kurvanti tirtani shvantastena gadabrita. Saints of your caliber are themselves places of pilgrimage. Because of their purity, they are constant companions of the Lord, and therefore they can purify even the places of pilgrimage. Still, I would have tried to arrange your interview, but he has recently left to tour South India. Then, right now, Sarvabhauma has told the king that actually when persons like Mahaprabhu visit the holy places, they become purified. Vaishnavera, and that is his purpose in going, to purify the holy places and to bring everyone he meets to become a devotee of the Lord, a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Gaudiya Vaishnavas are those who follow Mahaprabhu. We are trying to do that. Vaishnavera e hoy ek swabhava nischa teho jiva nahin hana svatantri. A Vaishnava travels to places of pilgrimage in order to purify them and reclaim fallen conditioned souls. This is one of the duties of a Vaishnava. Actually, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not a living entity, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Consequently, he is a fully independent controller, yet in his position as a devotee, he carries out the activities of a devotee. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur points out that because there are many permanent residents in holy places who do not precisely follow the rules and regulations governing living in a sacred place, exalted devotees have to go there to these places to reclaim such persons. This is the business of a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is unhappy to see others materially enmeshed. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught these activities of a Vaishnava, although he is the worshipable deity of all Vaishnavas, the complete and independent Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukta, completely uncontaminated and eternally liberated. He is Sanatan, for he has no beginning or end. Rajakohe Tara Tumi Jaite Kene Dile Paya Pade Jatna Kore Kene Na Rakile. Upon hearing this, the king replied, "Why did you allow him to leave? Why didn't you fall at his lotus feet and keep him here? Bhattacharya kohe teho svayam ishvara swatandra shakat Sri Krishna teho nahi paratandra. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the independent Lord himself and is completely free to do as he likes. Being Lord Krishna himself, he is not dependent on anyone. The Lord will do as he likes. No one can control the Lord. Tatapi rakite tare bahujatna koilun ishvarera svatantricha rakite narilun. Actually, the Lord is controlled by love. His devotees can control him, but no one can. Yeah. Otherwise, there's a saying in Mexico I've heard that says, how's this go? What? Si el Señor no quiere, santos no pueden. Have you heard that? Huh?
No, no lo había oído.
Means, it's true in this instance, says, if the Lord doesn't desire, then saints are not able to change, not able to do something. But as I said, the Lord will be controlled by the love of his devotees. But on instances like this, it says, great personality is hard like a thunderbolt and soft like a rose. So if Mahaprabhu is determined to do something, he will do that. And he was determined to go to South India. And on the plea of looking for Vishwarup, his elder brother, he went. But actually his purpose in doing so, as we can see, is to bring everybody in South India, to give them all freely Krishna consciousness and the holy name, to spread the holy name everywhere. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself and is completely independent. Being Lord Krishna himself, he is not dependent on anyone. Tatapi rokite tare bahujatna koilun ishvarer svatantricha rokite narilun. Still I endeavored very hard to keep him here, but because he is completely independent, I was not successful. Rajakoi batatumi vigya shiromani tumitare Krishna kaha tate satyamani. The king said, Bhattacharya, you are the most learned and experienced person I know. Therefore, when you address Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Lord Krishna, I accept this as the truth. Punarapi ihantara hoile agaman ekbar dekikori safala nayan. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I wish to see him just once in order to make my eyes perfect. Bhattacharya kohe teho ashibe alpakale rohite tare ekstan chahiye virole. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, His Holiness Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will return very soon. I wish to have a nice place ready for him, a place solitary and peaceful. Thakurer nikata ara hoibe nirjane e matan nirjana kore deho ekstane. Lord Chaitanya's residence should be very secluded and also near the temple of Jagannath. Please consider this proposal and give me a nice place for him. Raja Kohe Aiche Kashi Mishra Bhavan Takorer Nikatahoy Paraman Nirjan. The king replied, Kashi Mishra's house is exactly what you require. It is near the temple and is very secluded, calm, and quiet. Etakohe Raja Rohe Utkantita Haya Bhattacharya Kashi Mishra Kohilasya. After saying this, the king became very anxious for the Lord to return. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then went to Kashi Mishra to convey the king's desire. Kashi Mishra Kohayami Bora Bhagavan Mora Grihe Prabhu Pader Habe Abastan. When Kashi Mishra heard this proposal, he said, I am very fortunate that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord of all Prabhus, will stay at my house, at my home. Emata Purushottama Bhashe Jatajan Prabhuke Milite Sabar Utkantitaman. Thus all the residents of Jagannath Puri, which is also known as Purushottama, became anxious to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again. Sarvalokera Ukanta Jabe Atyanta Badila Mahaprabhu Dakina Hoite Tabahi Aila. When all the residents of Jagannath Puri became extremely anxious to meet the Lord again, he returned from South India. Shunyanandita Hoila Sabakarman Sabyashi Sarvabhauma Koila Nibedan. Hearing of the Lord's return, everyone became very happy, and they all went to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and spoke to him as follows. Prabhura Sahita Ama Sabar Koraha Milan Tomara Prasadi Pai Prabhura Charan. Hearing of the Lord's return, everyone became very happy, and they all went to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house and spoke to him as follows. Prabhura Sahitama Sabar Koraham Milan Tomara Prasade Pai Prabhu Charan. Please arrange our meeting with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is only by your mercy that one can attain the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Bhattacharya Kohe Kali Kashi Mishra Raragare Prabhu Jaib Bena Tahan Milai Milaba Sabare. Bhattacharya replied to the people, tomorrow the Lord will be at the house of Kashi Mishra. I shall arrange for you all to meet him. I'm going to stop here. Now, what we're seeing is Sarvabhauma, the Lord was just briefly in Puri before he went to South India. He had come from Bengal. He was just a month or two in Puri. Then he went to South India. But because before he left, Mahaprabhu had converted Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was known as the principal Brahmin in the service of the king, Maharaj Prataparudhra. So just like the king says, that he says to Sarvabhauma, well, I have great faith in you. If you accept Mahaprabhu as being non-different from Krishna, then I also will accept that opinion because I have trust in you. And the citizens also, the citizens of Jagannath Puri, they all knew of the importance of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. When he said that Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, then so many persons are waiting. Whereas Mahaprabhu had been just a little time in Puri before he left to South India, now while he was gone, the people were becoming more and more anxious to meet with him, and many, many persons want to now take shelter of Mahaprabhu. So this is the situation when Mahaprabhu is returned. So now I'll sing Hari Haraya.
Pero ese Maharaj no era de Jagannath Puri, ¿no?
Maharaj Prataparudhra is the king of all Orissa, which includes Jagannath Puri. includes Jagannath Puri. Okay. All right. No, he stays in Cuttack, but he is the king of all Orissa, and Jagannath Puri is in Orissa. Hariharaya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Hariharaya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Charavaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama Charavaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Garadhara Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Garadhara Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhattadasa Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhattadasa Raghunath Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Yahoite Vignanash Abhishta Puran Yahoite Vignanash Abhishta Puran Echai Gosai Jarmui Taranas Echai Gosai Jarmui Taranas Tasavar Pada Renu Mora Panchagras Tasavar Pada Renu Mora Panchagras Tader Charana Sevi Bhaktasani Bas Tader Charana Sevi Bhaktasani Bas Janame Janame More Abhilas Janame Janame More Abhilas Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya-lila Korila Prakash Radha Krishna Nitya-lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyash Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyash Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamodas Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamodas Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gora Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo. Jai Saparikara Shri Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sarashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sarashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath, Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Premsigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavad Ki Jai, Nartam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishvavaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Kuladvip Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Sokel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan. Shamkunda Radhakunda Kalindi Yamuna Jewel Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.